Hey guys, and welcome to the Hobby News. Okay, so we've got some previews this week for coming, I guess, Saturday, I suppose, is when they'll be up for pre-order, the things we're about to look at. We also have some pretty tasty new paints coming, or contrast paints anyway, and some shade colors, and I think a new undercoat spray for white, and a nice little new miniature, which I think is pretty damn cool, but we're going to leave that till the end. That's for Necromunda. Yeah, it's a pretty fun model, so we'll look at that at the end. I'm sure everyone knows what that is, but yeah, it's pretty cool, so we can have a look. But to start with, we'll just look at the previews for things that are on pre-order, I guess, for Saturday, and yeah, let's get into it, because quite a bit here. So we'll come down. We've looked at most of this before, so I won't stay too long on it, but we've got the General's Handbook for those that are doing competitive AOS. That's going to be coming out, and I guess focusing on battle line as their sort of, I guess, thing, rather than, let's say, monsters in the previous one. We don't really know what it's going to be, but we'll see what happens. It could still focus on monsters, I guess. We'll see if they say anything about it, but I don't think they do really tell us any more than just the battle line thing is going to be something they're going to focus on. So the new season of War begins with the General's Handbook, an essential supplement for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which includes updated battle plans, pitch battle profiles for every unit in the game. As a definitive companion for competitive Warhammer Age of Sigmar players, it contains everything you need to take your tabletop clashes into the new season and brave the harsh environs of the splintered lands of Delaque. Okay, so we are still in Gur, I'm pretty sure, but we're moving location, I think, but we're still in that main space. I think so, but I'm not quite sure, but something like that. But yeah, these little books are really great if you're into competitive play. I've now just been to a tournament and experienced it, and this little book is great because it has the core rules in it. You know, it's literally got the rule book in it. It's really, really awesome. Like, it gives you everything you need to start playing games. It's an amazing little book. They don't really do this type of thing for 40k. It's not quite the same. This is actually packed with really, really good information. So if you're into Age of Sigmar, this is actually quite a good book to have. It's very useful. The binding on it is good because you can turn the page to what you want, keep it open. It's nice and small, so you can put it on the side of the table. I found it really useful over the weekend that I was playing games, and yeah, if you're into it, this is actually something worth getting if you want to play match play stuff. So now that I've experienced it, I can honestly say that this is definitely a good product. The 40k one is a little bit sort of weird, but this one definitely has everything in it is excellent. So yeah, super cool. It should be following the same as the other one. So yeah, awesome. So then we've got the Sylvaneth releases. So we've got the usual special book cover and the standard, and we've already looked at all this stuff. It's really great. I've said a lot of good things about it. I like the Fey influence that they're going for here. I think that for Sylvaneth, that's going to be a really cool way to go for the future, for design and so on. That's some really nice imagery that you can do with that. So yeah, and obviously painting as well, right? So these will probably feature on the channel, I would imagine, at some point. I'll probably paint some, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, they're all good. So you're going to get those, the unit of the little bug riders, which are great as well. And then we've got the Skaven book, again, the same thing. We're going for our special cover, and then the main one, and then the cards. Now I used my own little cheat sheet, I guess, on the weekend for my tournament, but yeah, these cards are really good, so they don't stay long. So if you're playing these factions and you want some little War Scroll cards on the side of your table, this is actually a great way to go. So I think in the future I'll probably try to pick them up because they do actually help. I didn't think they would, but I noticed a lot of people using them, and because they're quite small, it's actually quite nice to have, especially if your army doesn't have a lot of War Scrolls. This is quite cool. If you're in Cities of Sigmar or something like that, then it's going to be really difficult, but most armies don't have that many War Scrolls in their army when you're playing 2k. So yeah, this is actually kind of useful thing to have. So that's cool that they're bringing those out. And then the usual dice that we have, that's great. They're a lot more readable at the moment, which is nice. I've noticed over the last few packs of dice, not quite as wacky as sometimes they make them, so that's really good. And then we've got our usual sort of not combat patrol, I guess. Yeah, they call them Vanguard boxes. So your sort of starter box for your army. So we've got one here for Daughters of Cain. Yep, has the usual miniatures in it. We've seen all these before. The Skaven one, this one's pretty cool. You got the big guys as well, and then Ninehorn as well. And definitely the Ninehorn will be featuring on the channel. I've been playing around with the paint scheme and so on. So you'll see some painted stuff for that. I think I'm doing that character, the Drowner guy, first up, and then we'll do some more after that. But yeah. yeah, this is a pretty good box if you want to get into Nighthaunt. With those new contrast colors that are coming, that'll make it even easier to do some spooky colors, I guess, if you want to do a speed paint version. So yeah, all in all, pretty cool. And then we've got, now they're bringing out all of those special characters that they had in those boxes when they were releasing the armies. Now they're coming out on their own. So we've got the Flamekeeper here for the dwarves. Then we've got this Thrallmaster here with the very dubious hat on that he's wearing. I think, as I said, if I'm going to do this guy, I'm probably going to change the head. It's a little bit of a funny motif there. But anyway, I won't go too much more into that. But he's still a cool model apart from that little hat. But yeah, and then we've got the Daughters of Cain one as well. So she's pretty cool. I like this sort of spiral thing they've got going with the whip. That's pretty fun. So then we come down here and we've got this Scripta Mortis character. So from what I've gathered from other people talking about this, he's not particularly competitive, but it is still a fun model and something that would be fun to paint up. So I like all the way that the heavy metal painters have done this with, moving through the different colors as you go down the model. That's a really nice feature of this. So, even though he's not competitive or whatever, that sort of thing, it is a pretty fun model to paint, so I do like it a lot. So we might even see that on the channel too. So yeah, pretty fun. So he's coming out as well. And then we've got the chapter approved. So this is the new Warzone for 40k, and again, these books tend to vary in their quality, so I'm not going to speak either way on this one. If you're into it, I guess you'll be getting that. And they usually have, I think these Warzone ones usually have, special rules for different types of, I guess, army organization, so I think one of them for Death Guard had, Typhus's Legion, or Typhus's sort of army, I guess, and you had like different choices you could take and different, I guess, stratagems and so on for that list. And I'm sure there'll be more for this one as well. So yeah, if you're into that, then that's great. And then we've got a Necromunda one as well. I guess this is featuring the new models they're bringing out. So yeah, Outlanders. So we're getting the dwarves and so on, the Ash Waste Nomads, and I forgot what these ones are called. Anyway, so you've got that as well, and we've got the truck that we've seen before, which is pretty cool. We've got some little accessories here. We've got, I guess this is for the extended part of the truck if you want to have the land train idea, and then the best one, which is the dwarves. So we've finally got squats. They're coming very soon. You can pre-order them. This is great. These will pretty much, I won't say 100%, but a very high 90% chance of appearing on the channel in some form. I'll at least paint up one or two of them because they're pretty cool. Yeah, I've been wanting to have like some space dwarves for, I don't know, over 20 years. So it's nice to have these finally released in something that's, a pretty cool design. I'm liking it. So we'll definitely see that. So that's really cool. Then we've got some, I guess these are cards for the game, I suppose. And then you've got your buggy that we saw a while back. This is a great model. I've talked about this. There's a lot of nice action in this figure on top. Yeah, a great little model. And then we've got obviously the Ashwaste guys here. This sort of Stormcaller, I think he was. Yep, Stormcaller. Yeah, all in all, pretty fun. Then you've got your usual books, and we'll leave it there for that. I'm sure you can go through the article and have a look at those. The main thing is that we've got some pretty juicy AOS stuff coming and some Necromunda stuff. These wonderful little squats. So now we'll go over to the paints. So with the paints, this is pretty exciting. I mean, I know it's only paint. If you're not into painting, then this probably won't mean much to you. But, if we have a look down here, if you notice on the channel, I do a lot of things with shade colors and color glazing, that sort of thing, as well as contrast paints. These are great. So they can help boost your, the saturation of your colors, make your army more vibrant. You don't just have to do a zenithal with the white and just put the contrast straight on, which is great that you can speed paint an army that way. But they're also really good in combination with regular painting. So you can add little color shifts and things like that. And with more vibrant colors like this, these really bright ones, they're really good for this. So they're great on flesh. I'll definitely be doing some tutorials using these on flesh tones and so on. And the ones that I've been looking at here on the side for the flesh one, for the shade colors, is this sort of minty sort of green here, the Poxwalker one, this minty fresh Poxwalker. That's going to be a really good color to use. And this light blue. I've been waiting for a light blue. I've been using a lot of the dark blue one that they've got at the moment, but having this light blue here is really good for flesh as well. And there's a few others. Maybe this Mortarian grime here could be useful as well. They've got this different red here as well. There's a lot here that you could use. These are basically complementing what's already there and adding a lot more colors that you can glaze into things like armor, flesh, cloth, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, you're definitely going to see an expansion of these being used on the channel, and I'll definitely be doing some experiments. So that'll be really, really fun. So if you haven't tried any of that sort of technique before, it's really, really cool. It's very easy to do. Just have a look at any of the videos on the channel and you'll see how easy it is. It's very non-destructive. It's not going to ruin your model. You're just doing very light glazes and you'll just get into color theory that way. It's a nice, easy way in, because sometimes color theory can be very daunting, and that's something that's just really fun to do, and it's very easy. So yeah, anyway, I won't bang on about that. Yeah, but this is a really good thing. It's going to be great when these finally drop. So that's awesome. So we can see how vibrant the color is when it's done over a white undercoat. I mean, that's very, very bright, which is good. It's got a lot of pigment in it. That's really nice. And they've also done their so it should show somewhere here. Where have we got? Well, there's the shades. Yeah, all really good colors. These are very, very good. That's going to add a lot to painting and so on. And then it's this white. So they've increased the I guess the vibrancy of that white, which is good for the contrast, but also good for anyone doing zenithal undercoating, which is spraying from the top. If you've got a black undercoat underneath and then you spray the white on top, you'll get the zenithal, which gives you that shading and the impression of light hitting the model. So yeah, all in all, pretty good for painting and so on. That's really nice. So I think now we'll move over to the final piece of this puzzle, which is something that I think is pretty fun and enjoyable. And there's a very high chance I'll paint this on the channel. So we've got a Delaque Spyker, and it's just great, isn't it? I mean, it almost looks like it's a photoshopped image, right? You almost don't think that Games Workshop are going to bring something like this out, but this is such a wacky, fun model. The head expanding, all of that psychic energy. It's something that you sort of, I guess, you read about this or in the lore and that sort of thing, but they've never really done a Spyker exactly like this. Usually the Spykers are just standing. They're in the Imperial Guard or now the Astra Militarum. Just doing their thing. They're not in the middle of basically having their head explode due to warp energy just being siphoned through them or coming out of them, right? You could imagine that a demon is about to come out of this guy. It's such a wonderful idea and a great sculpt. There's so much good color work that's going on in these flesh tones here. I mean, what else can I say about it? It's got great blues, blue teals going on. We've got the brass colors. I mean, this is right up my alley. If you've seen any of my videos, this is the perfect kind of color palette here. You've got purples and blues. You've got all great colors going on. This is a really good model just to practice on if you want to get into color. This is great. You've got everything you need here, all kinds of little details, veins and so on. You can do all sorts of things with this. Yeah, it's a wonderful model. So I won't go on too much more about it. You can tell I like it, but there's a lot here to unpack. I mean, we've got him lifting off the ground. They're using the robes to help give elevation. There's a lot of little tricky little sculptural things going on here to create negative space under the model without having a tactical rock, as you usually do. That's a really nice thing. We've got the tubes coming out from the back to add a bit of lift here. We've got a lot of interesting little things happening to give this guy movement, even though he's relatively static, right? He's being strapped to a sort of some sort of tech device, so that he's very straight up and down. But even still, we've got the tilt in the head. We've got that really massive cranium that gives a lot of weight to the back there. And I'm sure if we turn this around, you're going to get a really nice sort of curve in that body. So yeah, there's a lot happening here, and it's great to see. I really, really like these sub games and what the sculptors are doing. It's always fun. Every time they do one, it seems to be a 10 out of 10. So much good details and just options for people to really dig into this stuff and have a lot of fun, especially on the painting and modeling side. I don't know how he goes in game, but surely he's got to be fun, right? I mean, it's a crazy psycho. It's awesome. So yeah, all in all, that's just a home run for me. Yeah, we've got some details here. So yeah, just beautiful. You've got all kinds of things you can do here. They've done the liquid in the vials there. there's so much evocative elements going on here that remind you of different sci-fi movies, all of that stuff. It's all happening on this one model. What a great model. Yeah, really awesome. And even the artwork too. Again, that's a really great thing to see that they're showing the art. That's very important. It helps tie you into what's really happening with the design process of these things and the lore and so on. Yeah, really great. Everything about this is awesome. And the sculpt is just a just a wacky one, right? Yeah, really, really cool. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit that like button, subscribe button. It really helps me out. And I guess I'll catch you on the next one.